Last night, the Carolina Hurricanes ended their regular season the way they started it, with a 6-3 win over a Metropolitan Division opponent. And now we head into the playoffs. Find out where the Hurricanes go from here right in this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, I'd like to thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Friday afternoon. And don't forget to follow the show on Twitter at LO_Hurricanes, myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis _96, and rate the show 5 stars on whatever streaming platform you're listening on, and subscribe on YouTube. And in today's episode, we will be diving into last night's 6-3 win over the New Jersey Devils. And this was a game where in yesterday's episode, and even the day before, I was a little not necessarily concerned, but I guess you could say that of as far as what we're going to see from the Hurricanes here. I figured we'd be resting guys, in time for playoffs, and we were. We were resting Jacob Slavin, Andrei Svechnikov, and Jordan Stahl. And I didn't think, the team would phone it in by any means. That is not this team. This is not that coaching staff. That's not what they do. But I felt that, we could see a bit of a muted effort, I guess you would say. They had nothing left to play for. And you play a bit of a easier type of game, I guess you'd say, not so, pedal to the metal type game. But that is not what we saw at all. The Hurricanes absolutely dominated the New Jersey Devils in this game. And it was over pretty early, to be completely honest. And one thing, I really liked about this game, one of my big keys to the game, or two of the big keys to the game, was chemistry, getting out, because we were going to be having different line combinations, ones that we hadn't really seen much at all this year. It chemistry of those guys playing together more, getting out to a hot start rather than having to dig themselves out of holes like they have had to do in the past few games, and then is playing a complete team game. Yeah, that's something I always say, and that is something we got in spades in this game. The Hurricanes got out to a hot start. If I remember correctly, we're going to look to see just what the Hurricanes ended up going with. The Hurricanes scored the first 3 goals of the game, with the first one coming from Ethan Bear just under 5 minutes into the game. Then you had Martin Necas and Jesperi Kotkaniemi also chip in there before New Jersey finally got on the board towards the end of the first period. So you're watching all this. That's exactly what the Hurricanes need to do. They did pretty much everything right here. Honestly, maybe up until the last 6 minutes or so of the game, and really did just about everything right here. And really happy about that, because I've said, all season long, this team is at their best when they're playing a complete team game. Your defense, your defensemen absolutely stepped up their game in this game. Like, yes, you're playing New Jersey. You're playing a team that is not in the playoffs, and they had nothing left to fight for, other than a lottery pick, at this point. But the Hurricanes did everything they needed to do in this game. They were supposed to dominate this game, and they did. And as I said, the Hurricanes are at their best when every guy is chipping in, and they're playing a good complete game. And you look at these goal scores, you had 6 different goal scorers, and then, it being from guys that aren't necessarily ones that always score goals. You had, getting his 5th of the year, with assists from Brendan Smith and Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and you have Marty Necas with assists from Ian Cole and Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and then Jesperi getting his goal with an assist from Marty Necas. Then you get into the second period, you have Teuvo Teravainen, one of the guys you're wanting to score, getting assists from Vincent Trocheck, another guy you're wanting to show up on the score sheet there. In the third period, you have Steven Lawrence getting his goal with assists from Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho. Once again, guys you're wanting to show up on the score sheet. And then Jordan Martinook getting us from Brady Shea and Derek Stepan. You're having guys from all over. You're having, your defenseman chip in. You're having your depth guys chip in. You're having your top guys chip in. This is going to be what carries the Hurricanes through the playoffs is every guy. I said in previous episodes that, that's going to be something that the Hurricanes that's going to be something that works for them. It's not, an Alex Ovechkin and Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Sidney Crosby type situation. Like, big moment, it's going to that guy. And but with the Hurricanes, something like this, and it's so balanced. Again, top guys are chipping in, depth guys, defensemen, everyone is, and that is amazing. And I'm glad that they're hitting this stride here heading into the playoffs. They're on a 6-game winning streak now after having been kind of up and down and dealing with injuries. And I think this is going to be really, really good for the Hurricanes. And then also, you know, Seth Jarvis, he's on a 7-game point streak right now heading into the playoffs. So he's hot right now. Kotkaniemi, he had 4 points in less than 4 minutes of ice time. Okay, your guys that you want to step up are stepping up. And again, Teuvo Teravainen is. Jordan Martinook, yeah, he's a depth guy, but he's on a 2-game goal streak. Yeah, he's a guy that doesn't score goals. He goes out there and beats people up and knocks the crap out of them. That's what he does, and he's showing up on the score sheet. Brady Shea is heating up. He's been hot all season long. Let's be honest. He's been one of the team MVPs this year, but yeah, he's getting going right now. Vincent Trocheck is. Yeah, Jordan Stahl was sitting out for maintenance, but he was another one heating up just in time for the playoffs. And this is going to be great for the Hurricanes, and they got momentum on their side heading into the playoffs, which is going to be really, really big. And now that the regular season is done, the Hurricanes have finished the season with a 54-20-8 record and 116 total points. Both of those are franchise records. I talked about it in previous episode where they initially set franchise records, with the 53 wins and 114 points. But yeah, same stuff applies. This is something to really be proud of, looking back, 5 years, where this team was. A team that, had they continued down the road they were going on, they very well could have gotten relocated. And new ownership took over, new general manager, new head coach, absolutely turned this team around and is a legit Stanley Cup contender. And I think that is something to be really, really proud of if you're a fan, if you're someone that covers the team. I think it's something to really be proud of. And I'm really proud of this team for being able to do that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the playoffs, we have those records being set. We also had other ones being set here in this game, with Rannta coming back in and getting the start here tonight in his he and Frederick Andersen won the William Jennings Memorial Trophy, and we will talk more about that right after this quick break. Now, folks, it's springtime. Are getting out and hiking and walking and just enjoying the nice weather. And while you're out there enjoying that nice weather, you're going to need a snack. And Built Bar is here to be that snack for you. Built Bar is, of course, the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. And the best part about Built Bars is that they're healthy and delicious. So no more sacrificing delicious food for health. With Built Bar, you can have both, and it's easy. All you have to do is go to built.com and order now. All Built Bars and their puffs are covered in 100% real chocolate. So that means with Built Bar, you can eat healthy and actually enjoy doing it. And Built Bars are, of course, high protein, high fiber, low calorie, and low carb. And most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar, which usually has around 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. And with flavors ranging from banana cream pie, raspberry, double chocolate, and many, many more, there is going to be something for everyone between their regular flavors, their limited time flavors, and the puffs. Like something for everyone. So right now, you can go to built.com and use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order when you use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Now, folks, I mentioned Annti Rannta and Freddie Andersen winning the Williams Jennings Memorial. That is, of course, for the goaltending tandem that allowed the fewest goals of the season with minimum of 25 games played. I know I saw some stuff going around last night. I'm like, oh, they shouldn't even qualify. Annti Rannta only played, 9 games or something like that. Hey, the requirements. And the Hurricanes, they absolutely played fantastic. And I saw stuff where, they're saying they had, a great team out in front of them. If they were on X team or this team or that team, they wouldn't have done it. They still got to make the saves. They still got to make those saves. And, they are the final line of defense. Yeah, having a good defense there helps. But, you look at your Vezina candidates. Look at last year: Marc-Andre Fleury, Philip Grubauer, Andre Vasilevsky. They all had good teams out in front of them. You're gonna have to have good teams out in front of you for this stuff. But at the end of the day, those goalies still got to make those saves. And Freddie Andersen and Annti Rannta did that in spades, having only allowed 202 goals all season long. That obviously was a league low, why they won this award. And that is the fewest goals in an 82 game season in franchise history. Obviously, we kind of got to be a little specific there due to shortened seasons as of late, but absolutely great stuff there. And this is the first ever win by a goaltending tandem in franchise history, including both the Hurricanes and the Whalers. Never has been one before, so big congratulations to these guys. Frederik Andersen, he's obviously won this before back in 2015-16 season with John Gibson when he was in Anaheim. So he knows how important this can be and just how much of a confidence booster it can be, especially between that tandem heading into next year. It's like, hey, we did this last year. Let's run it back. And I think that's really something to hold your head up high about. They played really, really well this season, and they also became the first tandem to ever win it while both of them were in their first season with a new team. So for them to come in both in their first year of being with and go out and win this award is outstanding. And I know, and then Frederik Andersen, he's also just the 8th goalie ever to win it multiple times. So I know a lot of us are kind of having to eat our words about what we were saying about the choices that were made during the offseason. I know I have. I was really against trading Alex Nelkovich. I was re-sign Ned, maybe bring in Freddie or Rannta, bring in one or the other, but not both of them. And I've absolutely had to eat my words on that. Ron's been really good for us. Freddie's Vesna is likely going to be as the finalist, and absolutely outstanding. And I think that is something that that's what the Hurricanes wanted. When bringing these guys in, they not necessarily to win this award, but to be a top tandem, and to be some of the top goalies in the year in the league, and that's exactly what they got this year. And also, the Hurricanes, it's important to note out, the other goalies, for the Hurricanes this year. Alex Lyon, he went 1-0-1. Jack LaFontaine went 0-1, and Peter Kochetkov went 3-0-0. The Hurricanes became the 11th team in league history to start 5 different goalies. Uh, Obviously, we dealt a lot with injuries this year, so we're having to call guys up. And heck, you had to sign LaFontaine from college and bring him over. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We got some depth there because the Hurricanes became the first team ever to record wins with 4 different goalies. We obviously got a crap ton of them with uh, Freddie and Annti. Then we also got the 1 win with Alex Lyon and 3 wins with Piotr. So the Hurricanes they're looking really good when it comes to goaltending right now. But again, big congratulations to Frederick Andersen and Antti Rannta. As I said, I'm having to eat my words on what I was saying, about this tandem, heading into the season. Really a lot of question marks, but the Hurricane they made it work, and these guys did everything that they wanted them to do, and I'm really it gives me hope looking forward. Definitely, this was something we're all really unsure about of how this would work out, but seeing how it's worked out in this first year, definitely, I can give, I can put a little bit more trust into trades and signings and stuff like that because all right, you made a move that a lot of folks didn't like, in trading Alex Nedeljkovic, and you brought 2 new guys in, and then, it paid off in God, it paid off so well. It's one of those I don't think anyone would have expected it to pay off this well. Like, I think a lot of us thought it would crash and burn, uh, but, Freddie, does have a, good track record for the most part, aside from those last couple years in Toronto. Antti Rannta, aside, take away his injury history, he's really good, but he was very injury. So I think that was something a lot of folks were worried about. Like, okay, these guys can't stay healthy. What if Freddie kind of goes back to Toronto, Freddie, and he's not going to. Rannta gets hurt. Now we have Ned. They are waiting in the wings. An NHL ready goalie. In the AHL. Yeah, you brought in Alex Lyon, but it was still just one of those. It was a really weird situation, and I don't think any of us really would have expected, to have the best tandem in the NHL, and one of those guys likely going to be a Vezina finalist and get a lot of votes. So I don't think any of us would have expected that, and I'm happy to eat my words on this one. I am, but yeah, the Hurricanes, we're just now waiting for the playoffs to start. We're likely going to be facing the Boston Bruins, and we'll obviously talk more about that in episodes to come. But the Hurricanes are going to have to practice heading into the Boston Bruins series. And we have some news about the Hurricanes practice facility getting renamed today. And we will talk about that right after this quick break. Now, folks, the Carolina Hurricanes are making their way to the playoffs for the 4th consecutive year. And of course, there's going to be a lot of bets being placed on not only the Carolina Hurricanes, but just the NHL playoffs in general. And betonline.net is your nose for all of your betting stats and sports info. Find the latest sports developments, including league reviews and news, as well as this year's basketball playoffs, hockey playoffs, and the start of the Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sports wagering information from live betting, playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now, the Carolina Hurricanes obviously have their new practice facility at Wake Competition Center. Now, this was something that kind of got debuted about midway through last season, if I remember correctly. But it's been around for a little bit, but it's still really, really new. And as typically happens, with this, sponsors come in and we now have a sponsor. It's still obviously called the Wake Competition Center, but the Hurricanes or the ice hockey rinks or ice rinks, I guess you would just say in general, those have been renamed to Invisalign Arena. Invisalign is obviously a big, big sponsor for the Hurricanes. They're actually going to be presenting sponsor for the Hurricanes in the playoffs. So kind of like how last year we had the decal change, on the helmets once we got into the playoffs. I forget what it was during the regular season. I think it was PNC. I think I don't remember for sure, but I remember it changed over to Die Hard playoffs, and then obviously during the regular season this year, it's been the absolutely terrible Lenovo decal there. But now probably going to be Invisalign, and I'm here for that. And this is something you kind of expected to happen at some point in the future. Again, Invisalign's been a long time sponsor for the Hurricanes, so for them to do something like this, not surprised at all. They actually extension through, I think, 2026, 2027. They're naming the east west entrances the Invisalign entrances. So you're going to see more brand or whatever over there, in those areas as well. But I'm really not surprised at this. And, and because they have been in such a long time. And then you honestly just look back to PNC Arena. Yeah, it was originally called Raleigh Entertainment and Sport Arena, but then a couple years later, it's the RBC Center. And then obviously now PNC Arena. But you gotta have sponsors for these types of things. So I'm really not surprised in the slightest. And having been to the Hurricanes old practice facility, what was it? Raleigh Ice House or something like that. Uh, and it being kind of not the best, and really small, and again, not great. For them to get something like this, be at this new state of the art competition center, and then bring in know sponsors and whatnot for. I think that's going to be really, really good just for the general state of the practice facility because again the old one wasn't great, and to be able to go into this, I think really going to help the upkeep and keep that place looking really, really nice. And I'm really looking forward to just moving forward with that because again, the Rams, really just being a corner as a franchise. I mentioned, again, 5 years ago, with the state the Hurricanes were in, ownership, general manager, all that stuff, of not being in a good place, and to now you're four straight playoff appearances. You have set records in win totals, and then now you've got a really, really nice practice facility, with sponsors and whatnot, not some run down. And I think it's really, really good for us. And I think it really shows that they're being here. Yes, they signed the lease extension on P into like 2029 or something like that. But yeah, add sponsors for your practice facility, having that sponsor really invest in your franchise. I think that's really, really good because they're, with that extension, your south or your east and west entrances at PNC Arena are going to be renamed, the Invisible East and West entrance or whatever they're naming them. But it's really, really good for this team and just organization as well as everyone that uses the Wake Company now Invisalign Arena over there, because you you have your junior hockey, your the junior canes are over there as well as other youth hockey. Both of your NC State club hockey teams, your men's and women's ice packs use there. Of course, you're gonna have like figure skating, and you got a lot of stuff going on over there. Have a sponsor for over there, like a big sponsor. Like the arena is named after them, not someone on the wall or whatever. Know, and I think that's going to be really, really good for everyone that uses those, including the Carolina Hurricanes. But again, they got to practice heading into for the Boston Bruins, and this is a team we obviously know really, really well. Now the Hurricanes get just in the new Invisalign Arena to prepare for the Boston Bruins. And in the meantime, make sure you follow Locked On Hurricanes on Twitter, LO_Hurricanes. Myself on Twitter, at Ellis_96.